Richie's survival story. The adventure begins.
When the blizzard apocalypse hit, my mom and I with my daughter ate hot pot in the safe house we built and watched that cheating bastard and his family burn themselves out. I had a dream about the end of the world. A global deep freeze. No food, no warmth. Because I owned a grocery store, I'd stocked up early. So before the freeze, half believing, half doubting, I started hoarding supplies. I never thought it would actually come in handy. But in that dream, my mother-in-law loved showing off on TikTok. So people targeted our home, and we were killed. I woke up from that nightmare and couldn't sleep again. I looked at my daughter sleeping soundly beside me. I tucked the blanket around her and left the bedroom softly. As I passed my mother-in-law's room, there's light. The glare from her phone screen. It was the middle of the night, and she was still doom-scrolling videos. She was always like this. The day before, she'd called her son, whining that her whole body hurt, making me take her to the doctor for meds. The second she felt a little better, she started acting up again. I went to the living room to get some water, when a loud song suddenly blasted from her room. I stomped over, furious. She was sitting bolt upright in bed, frantically turning off her phone. "Donna, how many times have I told you? Keep it down at night. Sophie's trying to sleep." My mother-in-law rubbed her nose, looking guilty. I knocked it off by accident, and my phone fell off the bed. The earbuds got yanked out. She did this all the time. It always looked like an accident, and her apology was always so sweet. It was hard to call her out. But then she'd turn around and complain to her son, telling him how hard her life was. The next day, my store staff brought me a purchase request. Someone had placed a massive order. They handed me the invoice. It was almost all rice, flour, oil, staples, plus quilts and winter coats. It lined up perfectly with my dream. I grabbed my employee, practically shaking, and asked about the big buyer. The employee said, the guy claimed his house was being renovated, so he wanted to store the shipment in our warehouse for another 2 weeks. That was him, exactly. In my dream, this same customer had cleaned out my store. It felt off. So I asked around in the industry, carefully. I found out he'd placed orders at every grocery store in Riverton. And even stranger, when we tried to restock from suppliers, a lot of vendors said everything was already sold out. Rumor was, before factories could even ship, big clients had bought up the entire output. That's when I smelled something really wrong. So besides filling that customer's order, I pulled every connection I had and brought in a huge extra shipment, stuffing the warehouse, and even my house, full. And that's exactly what I did this time, too. I stocked even more than in my dream. And on top of that, I couldn't forget the blood soap scene from that nightmare. If the apocalypse came, supplies weren't enough. You needed the ability to protect them. After I settled everything at the store, I found a renovation company and brought the designer and crew back to my place. Sophie was in preschool now, so at this hour it was just my mother-in-law at home. When she opened the door, she was wearing my jewelry, pairing it with my silk scarf and hat while filming herself. She had on clothes that weren't meant for her age, stretched out and misshapen by her body. She clearly didn't expect me home at that moment. When she saw me, and the strangers behind me, she forced a bright greeting, then dodged back into her room, embarrassed. I told the designer what I wanted. Just 2 things. The best insulation system money could buy, and serious security, because we'd been robbed before. I made it clear I had the budget. I told him money wasn't the problem. I wanted everything top of the line. I asked him to draft the plans first. If I liked them, after the house was done, I'd hire him to remodel my grocery store too. The designer moved fast. 2 days later, he had the blueprints ready. I showed them to a friend who knew construction. My friend said they looked solid. So we started building. My mother-in-law couldn't understand why I'd renovate in scorching heat. I just said this summer was brutal, and people were saying winter might be even worse. And honestly, I was scared she'd screw me over like in my dream. So I suggested, since it was so hot, once Sophie was on summer break, she should take her back to her hometown for a while. In a small town, there are more trees, and it's always cooler than the city. Plus, the house was under construction anyway. My mother-in-law could go back first. At first, she didn't want to, but I slipped her $4 grand, and she happily packed her bags. Logan, that so-called perfect son, felt like, after we married, he never wanted his parents into the city. So that year, he paid to add on to their old house back home. Fridge, AC, filtered water, everything. A few years later, his dad passed away. Logan couldn't stand his mom being alone in a small town. So he decided to bring her into the city. As for him, just a devoted son after marriage. And he dumped the take care of mom job on me. He said he had a project out of state and hadn't been home in over a year. Logan worked in construction, always bouncing from job site to job site. We were basically long distance. But before, wherever Logan went, he'd bring gifts back for me and Sophie, and actually spent time with her. So I tried to be patient with my mother-in-law. But remembering the warning signs from my dream, once I sent her away, I contacted someone else and had them look into Logan. A few days after she left, Logan called me. I used the same excuse I'd used on his mom and told him I'd given her $4 grand and a carload of food and supplies. His tone flipped from annoyed to pleased. I figured it out right then. His mom had kept all that quiet and only told her son that I was sending her back home. Before she left, I thought about it for a long time. If in my dream she'd only made a careless mistake, then this time, I was giving her a way to live. That house back home was big. Even had a basement. As long as she didn't show off and just kept her head down, those supplies would get her through the winter. Oh, and with all that stuff I sent, tell your mom to keep it low-key. Don't post everything online. It's not the thief you fear. It's the thief who starts thinking about you. I warned Logan about his mom's safety. He brushed it off. Yeah, I got it. You two take care of yourselves too. I'm busy, I'll call you later. And as I stared at my phone, at photos of him coming and going with a strange woman, my eyes went cold. Oh, he was busy, all right. Busy building a new little family with someone else. And he wasn't even far away. His mistress was already showing. Fine, really fine. Back in her hometown, my mother-in-law didn't change at all. She was posting non-stop on TikTok, chatting up relatives and neighbors online. She was living her best life back there. Logan called to rush me a few times, saying mom had cleaned the place up, and I should bring Sophie back soon, so the old lady wouldn't be lonely. Lonely? Please. I forwarded her TikTok video to Logan. In the video, she'd laid out everything I sent, one by one. Aunts and cousins sat around gossiping in a circle. See, the hometown's better. Look how happy she is with company. Logan went quiet for a long time, then texted back. Mom's getting old. I don't feel good leaving her alone. Just remember to come back soon. I agreed out loud, because the apocalypse was only days away. Got it. When does your project wrap? When are you coming back? When you're back, we'll talk about buying a car. Logan had been wanting a new car, but he didn't have enough cash, and wanted me to pay for it. When he remembered that, he quickly said, sure. I'll arrange things and come back ASAP. Come back soon. This life, I was going to make that bastard pay. The deep freeze was getting closer. I paid extra and pushed the contractors to hurry. To reinforce everything, I personally watched the thicker steel and insulation go in, making sure nobody cut corners. I also had the store warehouse reinforced, planning to turn it into a shelter for my employees. I hoped everyone could make it through this disaster, because this year was so hot. Sophie's preschool even started summer break early. By then, my house renovation was finished. I moved Sophie into our safe house. I counted down the days. The big temperature drop was only 1 day away. But I didn't expect that right at this critical moment. My mother-in-law came back into town. And that same day, Logan came home too, with a pregnant woman at his side. My mother-in-law arrived first. Sure enough, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I thought, you brought this on yourself. Don't blame me. Right after that, her son came home. Logan had told me he'd arrive that afternoon. But I told Logan Sophie had dance class, so we wouldn't be home. Still, when the door opened, my mother-in-law and I both saw a woman holding Logan's hand, all cozy, walking right into the house. Seeing someone in the living room, Logan froze. He quickly let go of the woman's hand. He realized it looked way too obvious. He rushed to explain, Kate, it's not what you think. She's Ben Harris' fiancée. She's pregnant, right? She almost fell just now. I just grabbed her. Ben said since I was coming home, to bring his fiancée along, so she could have the baby here. The woman played along with Logan's story. She chirped politely. Hi, Kate. Logan had kept his affair under wraps. Even Donna didn't know yet. So to Donna, what she saw was Just a pregnant woman. With bad intentions. Trying to tempt her precious son. Donna didn't give her an ounce of warmth. With a stiff face, she said, if she's back, she should go to her own place. Showing up at my son's house with a belly like that. Even if you're innocent. Neighbors will still talk. The woman didn't say a word. She just stood there, delicate and pitiful, behind Logan. Logan stepped in front of her and waved Donna off. Annoyed. Enough, I just flew thousands of miles to get home. I haven't even had a sip of water yet. Let me breathe first. Then he squeezed up beside me and asked. By the way, Kate. Weren't you saying Sophie was in class? When are you going to pick her up? Right, only then did I remember. I grabbed my keys and went to get my daughter. A little later, watching through the security cameras, I saw Donna still yapping and complaining. Once Logan was sure I'd left, he finally snapped at his mom. Enough, stop with that trashy talk. Quit making snide comments at Megan. Donna stared at her son. Like she couldn't believe it. Her always filial boy. Talking to her like that for some outsider. A pregnant stranger? Donna was about to start wailing. But Logan wasn't smiling anymore. He carefully shielded Megan and said, if you don't want the grandbaby in Megan's belly, then go ahead and cry. See what that gets you. Donna blinked, not processing it. Her face changed 3 times in 2 seconds. Logan helped Megan sit on the couch. Steady. Then he went to help his mom up. That, homewrecker, is the mother of your grandchild. Mom, you're about to be a grandma. Donna got hit with the news like a truck. She was so excited her hands were shaking. Good, good. The Carter family finally has a descendant. Now I can face your dad in heaven. Suddenly the way she looked at Megan turned soft and loving. It was the exact look of a mother-in-law pleased with her new daughter-in-law. On the security feed, the 3 of them looked like one big happy family. And I was already at my new place. Me and Sophie. And the safe house I built with my mom. My mom had picked Sophie up from dance class. Sophie chattered nonstop, telling her grandma funny things from class, making my mom laugh out loud. Yes, after living through that terrifying temperature crash once, I brought my mom in before it happened. I called her from out of state to come stay with us. As for the excuse? Easy, Logan's mom had gone back to her hometown. Sometimes my work runs late. And I needed help with Sophie during summer break. My mom didn't hesitate, she packed and came right away. But when I brought her to the new house, she froze. Since when did you move? Why didn't I know? I just said I never slept well in the old place. Housing prices had dipped this year. So I bought a better place to improve our living situation. And that was true. The market really had dropped this year. I'd already planned to buy a new home. I just hadn't told Logan yet. Then all this happened. Now I definitely wasn't telling him. I couldn't wait for his karma. I told Logan. Something came up at the store. I have to go handle it. I'm taking Sophie with me. As for tonight, you'll have to feed your mom. And that friend. Dinner's on you. Logan sounded hesitant. He asked me 3 times on the phone. You really can't have dinner together tonight? But on the camera, his expression looked visibly relieved. I told him, no, I'm really not free tonight. Tomorrow is the big temperature crash. I checked everything again. Our home defenses and supplies. Enough to last 2 to 3 years. Easy. To avoid getting sick. We weren't going out starting tonight. We blasted the AC and ate hot pot together. I also turned on the security feed at Logan's place. Basically hot pot and a live soap opera. They'd cleaned the place up already. Planning to take everyone out for dinner. But Megan used the baby as an excuse, said she was tired. Dizzy, chest tight, didn't want to go. Donna, for the sake of her precious grandbaby, cooked every last thing in the fridge into a huge spread. The 3 of them ate happily. Even the 2 bottles of milk Sophie had left there. Donna put on the table too. Congratulations, they'd successfully emptied their food stash to 0. Early that morning, the news was still reporting. Today's temperature hit a new record high. Warning residents to stay inside in extreme heat. Watch for heat stroke and dehydration. Sophie and I were gone all night. And Logan didn't call once. He was drunk on that cozy little fantasy. Spending the night with his mistress. It was almost noon before the 3 of them got up. Outside, the wind howled. Rain started slapping the windows. Everyone thought it was just a normal summer storm after a long drought. Logan finally called me. He asked where I was. I said I was at my best friend's place. He just grunted and asked when I'd be back. I said, soon. Oh, one more thing. Stop by the deli at the entrance of the complex and grab some breakfast sandwiches. Nobody's eaten since morning. And with that huge rain, delivery's a nightmare. I said, sure, without hesitation. I hung up. Sophie was sitting by the window watching the rain. Seeing how sweet and quiet she was, I asked, would you be sad if you didn't have a dad? Sophie ran over and hugged me. I just want mom to be with me forever. Then I had no more doubts. Half an hour later, the temperature plunged to 41 degrees Fahrenheit. The freak drop started trending everywhere. People were freaking out. The downpour eased for a moment. Taking advantage of it, cars on the road sped up to get out. Logan called again. His voice was edging into impatience. Where are you now? I said the rain had been too heavy. I'd been stuck waiting a long time. He said, fine. Then, with a hint of complaint, he added, no one's eaten, we're waiting on you to bring food. I agreed cheerfully. I hung up. On the camera, Logan was sprawled on the couch playing games. If he had hands and feet, he could have crawled to the deli himself. But he put all his hopes on me, someone who was never going back to that house. Megan looked hungry too. She grabbed the last bottle of milk on the table and downed it in a few gulps. The wind slowly died down, but it felt even colder outside. Looking down, the leaves in the complex were already coated in frost. I turned on every heater in the house, cranked it to the highest setting, because in one more day, the power grid would collapse, and we'd have to switch to backup power. Logan's place finally realized something was wrong. Logan called again, frantic. I answered, and he blurted out, where are you? I tried to sound panicked. Still on the road. This crazy weather, the roads are icing over. I can only drive slow. Only then did Logan relax a little. Just hurry. We're starving. Outside, snow started falling. At first it was light. Then it turned into heavy, thick flakes. Logan kept calling me again and again. But I'd already put my phone on airplane mode. He couldn't get through. The faces in that house went from confusion to pure panic. Logan's family finally stopped counting on me. I watched Logan pull on a thick down jacket, put on a hat, and head downstairs to buy food at the convenience store. The other two on camera sat quietly on the couch, waiting for Logan to come back with food. Outside was a whiteout. Inside were two people starving. Suddenly, the smoky smell of barbecue filled the air. It was Sophie, holding a skewer of grilled meat, offering it to me. I took a bite. The barbecue was crisp outside, juicy inside. Sophie told me proudly, Mom, I grilled it myself. Her sweet, smug little face melted my heart. I praised her like crazy, she was amazing. Sophie skipped happily into the kitchen to find my mom, watching my scumbag ex's family starving on the security feed. I felt unbelievably satisfied. Then the camera showed movement again. Hard knocks thudded at the door. Donna rushed to open it. Megan stood up too, staring at the doorway with hope in her eyes. But Logan came back empty-handed. He hadn't brought a single thing. He said he'd tried a few convenience stores in the complex, but they were all closed. Donna clutched her stomach, hungry. That's when she finally said it. If Kate were here. For years, those two had lived like helpless little kings. If they'd ever bought a bag of salt in the neighborhood, or a bottle of water, and actually knew the store owners, or even exchanged a few words with building staff, they wouldn't have wasted a trip downstairs. One phone call would have told them everything. Heck, my text still had a message from 3 hours ago. A mass text from the convenience store lady downstairs. Due to abnormal weather, we're closing in 1 hour. Reopening time TBD. Neighbors, pick up packages and supplies ASAP. Don't come for nothing. Megan wasn't a good person either. When she saw Logan come back empty-handed, she exploded. Logan, you useless idiot. Did you bring me here to die? Donna wasn't about to let anyone curse her son. As they got louder and nastier, I muted the camera. Good. Sophie didn't need to hear that. No kid should. But in the blink of an eye, when I looked again, the two of them were shoving and screaming at each other. Logan jumped between them, worried they'd hurt Megan's belly. In the chaos, someone slapped Logan across the face. At the same time, the feed went down, no internet, no power. The temperature outside was too low. Some power facilities were damaged. Luckily, our house had top-tier insulation. So even with the outage, the indoor temperature barely dropped. 2 more days passed. I could imagine how miserable Logan's family was. The old house only had cheap, half-hearted fixes. Just enough to shut them up. Now they had no power, no food, and freezing cold. Before communications fully collapsed, I sent Logan a video. Hot pot bubbling, steam rolling up. The best comfort in this kind of cold. The second he saw it, Logan called me instantly. "Kate, where are you? I'll come get you. Why couldn't I reach you earlier? Did you just start the hot pot?" He fired questions non-stop. He must have been starving. "What did you say?" The signal's bad." I cut the call immediately. Then I ignored Logan, calling again and again, and went back to eating in peace. I just didn't expect that after Logan, Donna would start spamming me too. While I ate one meal, my phone blew up, 99 plus messages. I only replied once, "Mom, why do you think I'm not coming back? Do you really not know?" I left her to figure it out. Donna sent me a whole stream of messages. See? She knew exactly which lines she'd crossed. Even Logan was apologizing on her behalf. But I never replied again. Eventually they panicked. Donna called me. "Kate, I've said everything I can. You still won't answer me. What kind of attitude is that?" Even now, Donna still didn't know her place. "Mom," I said, "it's not you. Think about it. What reason would make a woman take her child in a blizzard, then go back to that house? Why you know?" Donna's mouth was loose. One casual line from me, and she got nervous for her son. "Kate, it's not what you think. Don't explain." I cut her off. "Mom, tell Logan. I want an answer. Give me an explanation I can accept. Then I can let the past go. I'll bring you and Logan here. Because I've got heat, food, everything. Enough supplies to support our family of 4. Okay, Donna promised over and over. She said she'd make sure Logan gave me what I wanted. I braced myself. But Logan's photo still scared the hell out of me. I didn't think he could be that ruthless. In the photo, Megan was sprawled on the icy floor. Eyes wide open, staring blankly. Blood seeping from the back of her head, spreading across the hardwood. "Kate, it was when I was drunk. I thought it was you. Back then I was overseas. And I missed you so damn much every day." From my phone, Logan's voice messages played one after another on speaker. Good thing my mom had gone to put Sophie to bed. I didn't want her getting scared too. To my mom, Logan was hardworking, ambitious, and always respectful to elders. That's why she'd felt safe letting me marry him. But who would have guessed? Turns out people can hide their true nature until they're cornered. If I hadn't had that nightmare, even without this disaster, Logan would have cleaned me out eventually. Getting kicked out with nothing might have been the best case ending. What he really wanted was to make me a rich widow, or worse. 2 more days passed, and Logan and I finally lost contact. On the last day I heard from him, Logan used the last 1% of his battery to call me, begging me to save him. But the reply wasn't my voice. It was the sound of someone breaking the door down on his end. Before his phone died completely, I only said softly, "Logan, haven't you figured it out? I never planned to save you, not once." He didn't even have time to curse me out or scream. Instead, I heard the thud of bats and sticks. The dull, sick sound of wood hitting flesh. Noah Carter had called them. Like a stray dog being beaten in an alley. He was getting beaten down without mercy. And under it all, faint in the background, was Donna's dying, wheezing voice, dropping to her knees, begging that group for mercy. Remember how I said Donna loved posting videos? Even when there was nothing left to film now. She'd already posted plenty in the past, complete with location tags. So what did I do? If she loved showing off, then while everyone was trapped at home by the blizzards, I gave her some free promotion. Snow buried everything. I counted the days. On the 186th day after the temperature crash, the blizzards finally stopped. The temperature slowly climbed back up. A little over a month later, life returned to normal. Our family cooked a big feast to welcome the new beginning.